Yeah, my name is Frank. Graduate student at Georgia State University. So I did a research on the gun violence we have in Atlanta, and I did a spatial analysis of firearm-related crime in Atlanta, Georgia. All right, so in 2000, the violent crime rate in Georgia increased from 305 per 100,000 people to 756 per 100,000 people. And then the U.S. News Real Estate, that's the news that tell you how safe a particular area is and how unsafe a particular area is, gave a news that Atlanta metropolitan area crime rate was higher than the normal national rate in 2003. The crime index offense shows that for every 2 minutes and 30 seconds, there's always a particular criminal offense. So if you look at that chart, you will see that we categorize violent crime from non-violent crime. So violent crime, example is murder, rape, robbery, and assault. And then for non-violent crime, you can see it's burglary, the thefts, motor thefts, arson, human trafficking, and all. So you can see the time that the rate at which crime occur. For all criminal offense, for every 2 minutes and 30 seconds, there's always a criminal offense. For violent crime, for every 9 minutes and 44 seconds, there's always one violent crime. And then for non-violent crime, for every 2 minutes and 52 seconds, there's always one non-violent crime. So not to waste time on this, so that shows that there's really, really high rate of crime in Atlanta. So my objective is to identify hotspot and co-spot of firearm-related crimes in Atlanta, to look at areas in which crime is really high, and then to look at the spatial correlation of firearm crimes, and then to do a temporal trend on the firearm-related crimes across Atlanta. The method I use is the NACIS on ArcGIS Pro statistics to identify area that really shows high cluster areas of crime in Atlanta. And then for the autocorrelation, I use the Moran's eye to assess how correlated the crime is in Atlanta. And then I also did the temporal analysis. For temporal analysis, when I look at the data available on Atlanta Police Department, they have historical data, but the historical data did not identify if firearm was involved in a crime or not. So in 2020, it was in 2021 that Atlanta Police Department started categorizing if firearm was really used in a particular, was involved in a particular crime or not. So in 2002, we discovered that there was high rate of firearm involved in most of the violent crime. In 2023, also, we could see that there's also numbering to 300 number of crime, and you can see the trend both in each month. In 2004, there seems to be a reduction in how firearm is used in crime. But then, I did the analysis till September, so we hope that it keeps decreasing into December. All right, so using hotspot analysis, which is the NACIS OD statistics, it looks like central Atlanta, which area is this like downtown Atlanta, has such a high rate of gun violence, firearm being used in the crime. And looking at the hotspot analysis, you could see that around that downtown area, there seems to be a higher rate of gun violence being used. And then I look at the spatial correlation using Moran's eye, and the index, which is 0.59, shows that it's significantly clustering. And then the z-score is showing 17.26, which is a high positive value, showing a very strong spatial correlation. The p-value is 0.00, telling us that it's very significant, statistically significant. And I explained that crime data is highly clustered and not randomly distributed, which you can actually see in the maps here. Now, I also look at Atlanta Police Department zone. In Atlanta, we have 6 police zones, and notice that for zone 5 and 6, there seems to be a high presence of policemen and women in those areas, and that is the exact area where the hotspot is showing that crime is very, very intensive. And then I try to connect it to the poverty rate, poverty level in Atlanta, and this particular area where there's high hotspots, crime hotspots, are showing that 24% of people that live here are living below the poverty rate in Atlanta. And I use IDW interpolation to do a predictive map of firearm, and then the hotspot is coming down towards the southern, eastern part of Atlanta. All right, so for my results, like I explained initially, the spatial correlation results with Moran's eye indicates strong spatial clustering of firearm crime in Atlanta. And then the IDW interpolation, which is the predictive map I made here, shows that there's high and low incidence areas, and effectively highlighting potential hotspots such as the Midwest, Cascade, and Regency Trace. These are the locations where IDW interpolation shows. And then for the hotspot analysis, significantly higher and lower incidence rates than the average. Areas such as downtown, Summer Hill, and West End shows hotspots, while areas such as Arlington Estate shows cold spot. And then the census map also presents below poverty level, suggesting a positive correlation between poverty and crime rate. So for the discussion, the compiled map collectively revealed a clearer pattern of firearm-related crimes in Atlanta with distinct hotspots identified where interventions is most likely needed. And then for the IDW, the map suggests that there's a potential areas of concern that could benefit from preemptive resource allocation. And then for the socioeconomic data, hint an underlying association between poverty crime, emphasizing the need for integrated social and law enforcement strategies. Thank you.